Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Kusog7ande, the last day of the main tournament. That's right. We are wrapping everything up. It's the grand final. Guess what? Captain Drake took 2 wins yesterday, but we are doing the best of 3, and we are requiring the players to play all 3 matches because they agreed to it, okay? They said, no matter what happens before the 3rd game, we have to play all 3, and I was like, I'm not going to stop you. So, in essence, this is going to be a chance for Okami to play, for Captain Drake to not rage quit, and honestly, what can you say? If you can manage the swag and take a 3-game victory in the grand final, you have done a really good job. Now, to be fair, Captain Drake had 1 loss earlier in the tournament that put him in the loser's bracket. Okami had never had a loss until yesterday, losing the 2 rounds against Captain Drake. It was extremely exciting. I had a lot of fun. And honestly, both of the players should feel extremely proud about how they did. Now, after Kusog7, we are moving on to the GM bracket, okay? Away from the main bracket, over to the GM bracket, where we're going to give each other pieces of unimaginable horrors to play. Some of them would be games suitable for the main Kusog7ande bracket, and some of them might actually be nightmares that would never make it into the bracket. Oh, hello there, Corndan.
Hello.
Are you excited for the GM bracket? Okay, I'll take that as a maybe.
I'm here. I get to play games. That's nice.
I love to play games, yeah. And I actually think that the GM bracket is something where if I'm giving out games, I'm probably going to lean more towards experimental match stuff that might not work for vanilla Kusog. That's right, I'm calling it vanilla Kusog7ande. Just because there are lots of games out there that may have a reasonable amount of chaos in them that just would not work when you're giving out cash prizes and stuff, you know. I want to make it a little less chaotic, a little fairer, but I'm sure that, like, if anybody gets me and they're my GM, I'm gonna suffer, Corndan. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you a game, and then you'll definitely suffer. It'll probably be RoboCop.
I've played every single RoboCop in existence at this point, so actually that's a lie. No, I haven't. No, the convenient thing is that you cannot give me Journey to the Center of the Earth. I have played that. I cannot be given that game. I will veto.
Well, that's fine. The people playing today vetoed it too.
Oh, I was gonna say, how many times did you try to give it? Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and go over to the reveal. Big surprise, everybody. Let Crappy take us on over past Rockmen R. That was a fun game yesterday. And it shouldn't be any surprise. Corndan, Angie Bird.
Well, see, here's the thing. I am the Alpha and the Omega. And as such, since I opened up Kusog7ande 7, it's only fitting that I close Kusog7ande 7.
Indeed.
It was a shame for them.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a good thing for them, but it's just the reality of the situation. No, it's a good thing. I like your games, Corndan.
Well, I don't care if you do or not. I'm the one giving it out at the end right now.
No, I'm actually really excited about this one because there's been a lot of discussion with the GMs about this specific game, and I think that a lot of people are like, I don't know if it's ever gonna work, or blah blah blah, it might be a problem. But you know what? This final match for Kusog7ande
doesn't matter anyway.
It's a swag match, you know? Yeah.
And it doesn't matter anyway, and you know, I try to give out a lot of stuff. The theme for this is a murder simulator.
Yes.
And I tried to give out a bunch of murder simulators. A lot of them.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Until we settled on something here.
I was a little bit surprised that neither of the players have played this and that they pretty much haven't played any of the games in the series.
Yeah,
So give me a little bit of
give me
a
a second
taste
while I'm
of.
typing to them.
Oh yeah. You're doing important GM stuff. Everybody, I want you to know the GMs actually do put in a lot of work communicating the players to make sure that they have all the information and rules necessary. This game has a little bit of some special rules just so that we can actually first off track it, and second off give something that the players know that they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, so this is a struggle, and like Brooklyn just said, this is a game multiple GMs have tried to figure out. I will say partly credit to this does go to Cadis for trying to figure it out early. You know, but now that we've been doing Store Attack a lot, you know what we're gonna have, right? And you're gonna tell me, well, that's not a murder simulator, and I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. And that's King's Quest V for NES.
That's not a murder simulator.
You've never played Sierra games before.
Actually, I know this is a murder simulator. Like, go on. This is absolutely a murder simulator, and the players are going to have 1 hour to try to get the highest score that they can, and we are going to judge their final score to determine who is the victor here. That means no quitting early, no... yeah.
We're basically giving them a real Sierra experience, right? I don't care what goes on in the middle. There's probably going to be soft locks. We'll try to point them out when we get there, right? Because there's a lot of them. King's Quest V is notorious for it.
Your microphone is kind of clipping sometimes.
Well, you know. Is this better?
I think so. Go ahead and talk to me a little bit.
Well, anyway, right? You know, they're going to get murdered probably a lot. They're definitely going to get murdered at least once. And for those of you who say, well, King's Quest V was a PC game, no, Konami ported it over to the NES.
Yeah, this is a Konami port.
This is official, right? This is not a bootleg.
Yeah.
But it's real bad.
Now, with that said, I personally have not played this, but I do have a little experience with King's Quest from when I was younger. I do know that, like, there have been some ideas to play around with. What if we had, like, the number of different deaths? But there are just so many deaths in this game. So many freaking deaths.
And they're harder to do in King's Quest V. There are a lot of deaths, but, you know, you gotta, like, it's not like Police Quest where you can get deaths for, like, the stupidest things. It's fun to do it with Police Quests, right? Which I did try to give out, by the way, because, you know, that's definitely a murder simulator. But the Police Quest fails are all for, like, really dumb things, right? The King's Quest stuff is all, you know what? Everybody just get your, you know, exclamation point swearing ready. The King's Quest stats are all just stupid bullshit. Right? I don't know how else to say it. And you know what? It's not fun to try to track all that. So we're just going to track by score, because that's what you would go by, right, if somebody didn't beat the game. And nobody's going to beat the game in an hour.
Yeah, there's no chance. Well, let me go ahead and move on over there, because we have the game up. Oh, my castle. I'll boost the audio a little bit so everybody can hear the tunes. Yeah.
So I'll be right back. I gotta put a pizza in the oven because I'm gonna have dinner.
Ooh. Well, everybody, we have King's Quest V. Yeah, this is... It's not the fourth one, not the sixth one. There are a lot of King's Quest games out there, and the players are going to experience not the best of them to begin with today. But I'm really excited that this is our final game. It's a little experimental to see what they are able to do with this. And honestly, I'm just absolutely thrilled. Thank you, by the way, 3 Hams, for subscribing. And thank you as well for I believe Cadis resubscribed recently. Very much appreciated. People are asking how this works on the NES, and we're going to find out pretty dang soon. Oh, hello there, NPC.
I heard we were playing an NES game.
Yeah.
We are playing an NES game.
Quest of Kings.
Technically.
Yeah, King's of Quest.
Yeah.
So I have played this a little bit, and yeah, it's a game for sure. But I'm helping Corndan try to explain this.
Oh, I mean, there's no real. Hold on, NPC. I'll send you the stuff that I put in admin chat, right? So you can help track this. I mean, for our, we're not really worried about the actual tracking as much as you know. Here, you'll see when I say
Just here to watch him die.
Yeah. No, the tracking is absolutely 100% certainly needed. I don't know.
Well, so the tracking I have, right, is literally all the spots that you soft lock.
Oh, okay. Wait, there are multiple soft lock spots?
Here, let me put it in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
No,
23,
stop, no.
24.
Stop it.
Like 27.
Stop.
There are 27 spots that if you screw up, you cannot complete the game, and it will not tell you.
Well, everybody, This is the final game of Kusog7ande 7 for the players bracket before the GM bracket starts. So get all of your worst emotes possible. All of them. Okay, and spam right now. Because we've got Okami going up against Captain Drake.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Dark Seed, where if you don't do one thing, you can't beat the game.
Spam!
No, my favorite ones, right, are the ones that happen at the beginning of the game that stop you from completing the end of the game.
Yeah.
So some of these we probably won't run into.
Okay, well, here we go. Both of the players have started playing. It looks like Captain Drake is in a house reading stuff. Okay, Okami is talking to an owl. Oh my gosh, it's Zelda. It's Ocarina of Time. This music is annoying. I've got to say that already.
Now, I'll tell you, I'm letting them, save state as much as they want.
Okay.
Because you can actually save and load and all of that in this game. Except it's slow and it takes whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to fail a lot. So I'm just going to let them, save state as much as they want.
Oh no, Okami! Is he dead? Nope.
No, he's fine.
I'm confused.
Captain Drake skipped through a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like Okami is in the beginning. Watch out, it's a poisonous snake! They're venomous, though, so I don't know. It could be poisonous as well. If you eat the snake, you die. Have I eaten snake? I think I have.
Here's the way you can tell. If you eat it and you die, it's poisonous.
Yes.
If it eats you and you die, it's venomous.
A lot of things I eat die. Am I venomous?
Maybe.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So I gave them the manual.
Okay.
It doesn't really tell you much, right?
That's true. I mean, it tells the story. First off, you are now the proud owner of King Quest V from Konami. I guess that's not part of the story. Blah, blah, blah. There are 3 treasures in a magic mirror. They were stolen by deception and stealth. There's no heir to the throne. Everybody was worried about what's his name, Edward, dying, because if he died, he'd have no one to inherit the throne.
Graham.
Graham.
Yeah, are you Graham?
Yes.
Okay. Who's Crispin then? I saw somebody named Crispin. Okay, apparently at the very beginning, you go meet Master Crispin in the land of Serenia. Beginning from Crispin's house, Graham and Cedric will journey far in their efforts to save the royal family. Okay, so you start at Crispin's house in order to go across the country. There you go. Crispin was the wizard, as chat says. Thank you. Uh-oh, did someone bonk?
Yeah, Captain Drake died.
Well, everybody, you can go ahead and keep an unofficial death count, because right now Captain Drake has had a death. I don't think Okami has, but we're going to see a lot more of that. I just love in
100%.
King's Quest 1, I think you can die within the first 2 seconds of playing just by walking straight down.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Because I did that. And then I was like, I don't like this game, and I think I stopped playing.
It took me a while to get used to King's Quest, just because you had to type out everything and you had to be specific about it.
Oh, yeah. Get ye flask. You can't get ye flask. Well, why can't I get ye flask? Yeah. Well, strong bad. They did it pretty well. I'd say that Okami actually brought up Stair Quest when talking about this game, and I was like, I presume that like the gameplay is probably similar.
Yeah, the Stair Quest is more based on like King's Quest 1.
Yeah.
Right, in terms of the looks and the way. Cadus is probably right. Maybe more King's Quest 3.
Watch out for the ants!
It's definitely more AGI instead of SCI. Those are Sierra's 2 scripting setups. So King's Quest 5 was one of the first games on SCI. Sierra, I forget what it stands. Doesn't
SCI.
Yeah, there's SCI and AGI, and SCI is Sierra something interpreter, I think.
I'm sorry, this music, it kills me every time it starts up. By the way, this game came out on DOS in 90, but apparently NES in 1992, which is really late in the NES lifestyle. Oh, there goes Okami. That's a death.
Okami? Well, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, now the players are allowed to use save states because it's a little bit faster to save and load using those, and honestly, there's really no benefit to using the in-game save other than it takes longer, if that's a benefit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not something like, because, right, you would properly be saving and loading anyway, right, like before you do some of these things. That all this is going to let us do is see more deaths faster.
Yeah,
right. It's not like if you were playing like a platformer where you'd save state before like a platform and then keep loading it until you got it right.
Yeah.
Like here, you could technically do that, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, this game has a password system and it's BS. Right, it's real bad, and I didn't want to make them go through that.
Yeah, well, like we do like passwords. Let's not make them use in this state.
So yeah, we're trying to be mostly nice.
So apparently
because the game
game
is definitely not nice on our behalf.
I just want to give people an idea of the timeline here, because 92 was pretty late. The last official North America release was 94, specifically Wario's Woods that came out here. So
fun fact, Wario's Woods is the only NES game to be rated by the ESRB.
I didn't know the ESRB existed that early.
Yep. It was given a rating of K to A, so kids to adults, which nowadays would be for E for everyone.
Yeah. Well, good. Isn't that game actually pretty good, too?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, good job, Nintendo, having your very last NES game actually be good.
And Cadis is pointing out something that is true. That the game does have save states here. It just doesn't have a battery to keep them, which is why it has the passwords. We're still ignoring all of it anyway.
Yeah, use the in-game, or not the in-game, the emulator save states here. With that said, have you played the DOS version of this game, Corndan, NPC?
I have beaten the DOS version of this game, but it's probably been about 20 years.
Okay, NPC?
Funnily enough, I have not. I've only played the NES version.
I love it. Corndan, do you think that the DOS version is like a good game?
Vastly superior.
Yeah, 100%. Like, King's Quest V is a good game.
Okay. I'm gonna share a picture of the DOS version because wow.
I mean, the big difference is, right, like the DOS version, right, in 1990, right, moved to VGA. It was the best looking adventure game at the time, right?
Yeah. Like, this looks fancy.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful art.
It was super fancy.
Yeah.
The artwork was amazing. If you got it on CD, it was a talkie. That didn't make it good, but it was a talkie, right? This was definitely the time where they weren't using voice actors, so it was like whoever was in the office at the time.
I love it. Yeah.
And so on the face of it, right? Like, the game and all of that is actually pretty okay. The NES version, it's a downgrade across the board on everything. It's the same plot. If you could beat the DOS version, you could beat this one.
Oh yeah.
Right, but it looks worse. It controls real bad. Right, like, you know, D-pad as a mouse, right, and then A and B kind of do stuff, right? Like, it's not great.
So, question. I do know that this game has an issue with soft locks, and that there are multiple places that you can soft lock. Do you think the players will soft lock?
Oh, 100%.
And have they been instructed what to do in the case of a soft lock?
No.
Are you
because I'm giving them, so a lot of it is right, like whatever just happens, right?
Yeah.
So the big things that, right, I kind of go through, like, you're gonna soft lock. It's not necessarily soft locked in the sense of like, oh my god, I can't do anything, right? A lot of the soft locks are things like, okay, if I do this, I can't complete the game.
Gotcha.
So even if they're soft locked right now, there's a lot of progress you can make in an hour, right?
Yeah. They just won't be able to beat the game.
Right. And so sometimes it's interesting. Like, you can go buy, you know, a cream pie, right?
Yes.
You can eat the cream pie.
Okay, I see that Okami has the custard pie.
Yeah, okay. You can eat that, right? You can trade it in a couple spots. If you don't throw it at the Yeti like 3/4 of the way through the game, he just kills you.
Wah, wah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, Okami used the stick for the dog. Good.
Let me read some of these for you, right?
Okay.
The golden needle or the gold coin can be traded for other items, but it may prevent you from trading the items specifically needed using those items.
Oh no.
Right? If you throw the emeralds to the elves, but don't put the honeycomb on the ground, or just don't have the honeycomb, you'll be trapped in the woods. You die. Waiting too long to enter the desert temple will prevent you from solving later puzzles.
What?
And any attempts to go forward will cause you to die.
What?
Yep. I remember that distinctly. Yep.
If you rescue the rat, but forget to help the cobbler, you'll be rescued in the cellar with no way to destroy the padlock and get out, which means you die.
Okay. It does say you will die after a short time.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right. Right. if you eat the custard pie or feed it to the eagle, you'll be unable to replace it, thus rendering yourself defenseless against the Yeti. Right? The only clue that you're not to eat the pie comes from the game taking away points for eating it.
That is some. Captain Drake, are you eating the pie? Oh, trying to throw pie at Snake. I like that idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
right?
you
It's
do
not
need
the
to.
right idea, but it's a good idea.
You do need to throw a pie at something, not the snake, but very good idea.
If you eat the leg of lamb, right, the eagle doesn't save you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a big mess.
If you make it to the giant bird's nest, I don't think we'll get there.
No.
You only have a few seconds to grab the locket, which is required to befriend somebody. If you don't get the locket, you're trapped in the cell forever.
This is evil. Oh, good. I'm glad that.
Okami's going.
Yeah,
Okami's going out into the desert, right?
Okay.
And right, Okami's gonna die.
Yep. He is.
Because Okami didn't get any water.
I mean, kind of understandable. You don't get water. What are you gonna do?
There was an oasis. There was an oasis there.
Yeah. Okay, Okami got something.
If Okami is smart, Okami will be able to go back the oasis. So there's a whole like
maybe
thing out.
Nope.
No, Okami's gonna die.
Ah, the vultures are coming. Ah!
Yep. There you go.
Captain Drake has the oasis. Okay, time to drink the water. Glug glug. Ah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
So
that this game does have improvements over past King's Quest games in that, you don't have to type everything out. But yeah.
Okami or Captain Drake made it to the temple.
Okay.
Right. Which I think you can just go in. Remember, it's been
Yeah.
Watch out for the bad guys, Graham.
Yep. Yeah. At that point, you have to hide at the very right.
and you don't have a lot of time for it.
Oh, there is a question from Okami in the match chat. If you are able to look at that, it kind of is a sensical question as well that could help. Cool.
I mean, I didn't tell him no. You can use however many save states you want. Right? Like, I'll tell you what, I'm pretty certain the last time I played King's Quest V, I think I had like 30 saves. Because I didn't trust anything in this game.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that is the right way to think about it.
The question specifically was that since we are allowing save states, are they allowed to use as many as they want? And our answer is sure. Yeah,
Why not?
This is the grand finals.
So, I mean, honestly, for twofold reasons, right? Like, in all honesty, it's the grand finals, right? And it doesn't matter, right?
Technically, it doesn't matter, except for swag.
Yeah, but what I'm getting to is it doesn't really matter, right, in this sense.
Kami got some water. That's going to help, but don't get killed.
You got to get behind the rock.
Yep, gotta get behind the rock.
Yeah.
It's like the reason I feel like we're not going to get too far is because there's a lot of stuff you have to do in the desert. And I don't think that they're going to figure that there's a lot to do in the desert.
Yeah, and purposely I didn't give them a walkthrough or clues or whatever, right? I literally gave them, if you were to go buy the game, that's what I gave them.
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, good luck.
Right. The way I looked at it, Okami vetoed all these things. Okami doesn't necessarily get to have a good time here. Unless Okami is totally all in on, like, how dumb all of these...
Honestly, I'm all in.
Deaths are. Yeah, But you know what I mean, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
if you were playing this game like for the first time as like a kid, right? You'd probably be throwing your controller, like, and we're only what, like 15 minutes in.
I'm not sure I would because of how funny some of the deaths are, you know?
Okami has the
maybe
idea
as an
right there.
adult. I'm much more okay with the idea of death in video games as an adult than I was as a child. So you might be right, Corndan.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think like as an adult, right?
Yeah.
That I can appreciate what they were trying to do. Doesn't mean it was good, right? But I can appreciate what they were like trying to do, you know?
Yeah. Okay, Okami is hiding behind the rock. Which, if the enemy runs by, that's perfect. Ah! The enemy goes inside the temple, so you get to learn the code. Open sesame.
Yep.
Of course it is.
You always try that phrase. Come on. Everybody, you know, if there is a door in a desert, use open sesame.
Yeah, so that's actually one thing that, Okami avoided by actually getting that cutscene.
Be right back. I'm checking on my pizza.
All right, go check your pizza. Meanwhile, we are 18 minutes into this match. NPC, I want to check. Are you in the GM bracket this year as well?
Yes, I am.
Aha! Are you ready for me to beat you?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Oh,
Listen, no offense, Bro Sencha.
wow.
But your involvement in Kusog7ande hasn't been like the most spectacular.
When's the last time I played?
I think it would have been Kuso 3.
Also, how many times in Grudge Match have I technically won, but chat voted against me? Pretty much all of them. Or how many, like, I'm actually sometimes winning mystery tournament matches? NPC. If I face you, I will conquer. I will destroy.
I'll pay you $10 if you do.
Yeah, no, just buy me a fancy cupcake, okay? And vice versa, if we go up against each other and you beat me, I will owe you a fancy cupcake. Does that sound good?
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, cupcake deals.
I want a fancy cupcake.
Also,
Okay, Corn Dad.
If we can't do the cupcake, then the fancy shake at a restaurant. You know, the really over-the-top milkshakes.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know those. I could do that for you. Yeah, Corn Dad. Here's the deal. I just made a bet that if I face NPC in the GM bracket and I win, he buys me a fancy cupcake or milkshake or something, and vice versa. If he beats me, then I'll owe him.
I mean,
you want to do the same deal?
Sure, why not? Do you just buy him a dirty soda?
I am not buying a dirty soda. No, those are cheap. Come on. It's got to be something worthwhile, okay? Cupcake or milkshake?
I mean, cupcakes around here are pretty good.
Yeah. I'm talking about gourmet cupcake, not like freaking 6-pack at Walmart. No, with the real deal. The ones yeah.
I'm more talking about like the ones, right? There's a grocery store right near our house that has like a super nice bakery, right? We're not talking like the standard grocery store bakery, whatever, right?
Right.
You know, like we're talking. They actually have like, right? You know, this place competes with like independent bakery sort of thing, right? All their stuff is like amazingly good.
So apparently this discussion has made Automod very upset because people keep saying cream pie in chat, partly because of the pie in the game and partly because they want us to buy each other cream pies and to give them to each other. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not giving anyone a cream pie because of Kusog7ande.
Thank you. I appreciate that you're not going to give anyone a cream pie.
I will never, never as a prize.
Give people a cream pie because you want to, not because you feel obligated to.
That's a different channel. Anyways, so yeah, welcome everybody to the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Okami has 27 points so far, but remember the score only matters at the end of the match. And if they lose points because they have to reload, then those points are gone.
And if they lose points because they eat the cream pie,
then
right,
those points are
too.
gone. Do not eat the cream pie, chat.
Says custard pie. Let's make it more official. It says custard pie when they go on the inventory.
Fine.
I'm just getting a little duped.
NPC, thank you so much for being here. I apologize. But
all good.
This is a fun match. It's fun time. We're here for fun. Fun. What about meringue? Ooh, meringue. I can make meringue pies. I've done it.
I can do it. I'm not super good at it. I always get to the point that I don't get the moisture content and like the filling just right. And so I get like a moisture layer between the meringue and like the lemon cream or strawberries or whatever you're gonna.
Yeah, I don't love the flavor of meringue so much. That's the main reason I don't care about it so much. Give me a good cherry pie, okay? Well, heck yeah, cherry pie. So good. Apple pies are amazing, but like, I don't know, if you want to win me over with a pie, you can probably get me to do some questionable stuff with the cherry pie.
Okay, so Captain Drake is where actually he needs to be right now.
Ooh, okay. Where is this?
This is out. It's a camp out in the desert, which is actually where like.
Oh, Okami's there too, and the guy just died. That's convenient.
Yeah.
Key lime. Oh, chat. Cadis is saying that they like key lime, not with a lot of meringue. Actually, I think that like meringue usually piles it to the heavens, and like I feel like there's just a lot of fluff in there. You know, give me a tiny bit, and I'll be fine. Oh well, Okami's dead. That was a very smart move.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stab at it.
Yo. Ah, this guy's sleeping. Grab the sword. Uh-oh, never mind.
Stab.
I think you actually have to go to the temple first and then here. Right, because it puts these guys in the temple.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Go to the temple, let them go into the temple, and then come down here so that you can go to the bandit camp. You know what?
No, maybe I'm wrong. Cadis is saying I'm wrong. And I will defer to Cadis because you know what? It's been 20-something years since I played the game.
Well, I was looking at the game just a refresher. People go to the temple first before going down here.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
I don't know the order of events. I just know that we're trying to murder someone, this bandit, and...
I just know I gotta go check on my pizza again.
I just know that I wanted to look at the task just so that I could be somewhat knowledgeable about this game and at least, seem like I know what I'm talking about.
I mean, you know more about this game than I do.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've played it. It's just very painful.
Okami stole the staff. Very nice. But what do you do the staff?
Looks can be deceiving.
I think it looks like a staff. That's all. It could have magic. What if maybe it's just a rod and not a staff? Look, I'm doing Forge Up Fiesta right now, and that matters. Okay, it really matters.
Yeah, how is that going, by the way?
Oh, I accidentally deleted my save and had to start over, and yeah, I could possibly be doing it after the stream today, but honestly, I haven't felt the greatest, and I've got some work that I need to do for GDQ later, so maybe I will be passing today and doing it later on during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. With that said, it's been. I sure can cure a lot. I've got white mages.
Yes.
That's about it. People are asking if I had more wrong warps to X Death. As it turns out, on ZSNES, Final Fantasy V has an issue of accidentally sending you to the wrong place. I'm not sure if it's clock-based or step-based, but it's related to one of those two things. And it's very easy to get soft-locked in ZSNES, which makes it fantastic in PC. I love it.
I mean, there's so much that
What'd you do?
What
Went
happened?
Right in and walked right out.
Who did?
He went in.
Okami.
Tommy, he just soft locked himself.
Yep, because he's broken.
Well, don't soft lock the game. Okay, Okami, stop soft locking. Oh my gosh. But both of you have told me that, like, we're going to have soft locks in this game. That's just
Yeah.
Yeah, and for those who are wondering, even though, like, I haven't played this in 20 years, for some people may be true, at the same time, we've kind of wanted to give this game for ages, and this is a match that ultimately just has to be played, but it's not as important who wins, because Captain Drake is still going to be the grand champion, as long as Captain Drake doesn't rage quit. Because of that, giving something that is a little more chaotic feels appropriate. I like it. Like, I specifically was telling people, like, we can risk giving something that is just stupid. Uh-oh. No! At least you can practice your game of Tiddlywinks. Oh my gosh, I finally found a store that sells Tiddlywinks. It's a really sketchy store.
The clown store?
Not the clown store, no. It was the pharmacy that I went to in order to get my ADHD meds out in the middle. Like, I had to drive 45 minutes to get to this store in a small town. They were playing doo-wop music on the radio. There were tiddlywinks for sale, and they had my medicine. And it was weird, and I kind of love it. I want to go back to the doo-wop tiddlywink store.
Did you buy the Tiddlywinks?
I didn't. No. Why would you buy Tiddlywinks? Nobody buys Tiddlywinks. That's why they're not in stores.
We're so disappointed at you,
But
bro.
see, here's the thing. You buy it as a conversation piece.
I don't want to buy freaking Tiddlywinks. I don't even know. I don't care about Tiddlywinks. No Tiddlywinks. So somebody in chat is asking, is missing either the items inside of the temple
100%.
a soft lock? And yeah, the answer is yes.
100%.
Yep.
No way to get back in there.
Nope.
Can't
The
just
staff
say,
Broke the staff.
Yeah, exactly.
find some tape. Tape the staff back. Oh, come on, Sierra. Nah, Sierra knew what they were doing. They wanted to make everybody angry. And Konami
Here's
was like, okay, whatever, Sierra. I guess we'll port it and we'll try to fix some of your stuff. But we'll keep whatever BS you insist on.
Yeah, Cadis makes a good point in chat. Like, that screen in the DOS version, right, just like straight up is pain.
Is it just really hard to see everything?
It's really hard to see that coin.
Yeah, actually, I'd say that, like, having a lower graphic quality for the NES in some ways is a benefit, because it makes interactable things in some cases much more obvious. And because of that, I can appreciate it. When you were dealing with 256 colors, oh, you could do all kinds of things, you know? 256 of them. But yeah, the NES has a very limited color palette for games as a whole, as well as individual screens. You can only have a certain number of colors. I would say that because that the limitation actually helps.
In some way, I think the limitation in this particular case, when you're porting over a game like this, right, where basically, right, the game has to be the same, right?
Yeah.
That it makes you do things in a way that makes things more apparent because everything is so limited.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's point out Okami definitely didn't save the mouse. This is actually going to come back to bite Okami probably a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because Okami doesn't know he's soft locked, and you need that mouse later to save you.
How far later, though?
Not too far from now.
Okay, because that we might actually see the consequences of Okami's actions.
I'll say we have 27 minutes left, so we'll see if that actually is going to be. We'll see.
We should. I think within the time that we have left, we will most likely, right, see. I believe Cadis is right that the NES version actually gives you more options. The PC version, you get one chance to hit that cat with a boot.
Yeah, but Okami's doing something that he needs for progression, so that's
Okay.
that point's there.
Alexander! I don't know how, Mordak. I'm not a wizard. Silly non-wizards talking about wizard stuff. Can you believe it? I like this guy playing with a man and a mouse. Like, that's fun. That's sort of what I do in my spare time. Just grab a little doll and a little mouse and just do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did Captain Drake save the mouse?
I don't know.
Well, cool.
But he did get the needle.
Okay. Apparently Okami can save the mouse now. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, they went back to a previous state, so that I kind of remember.
Well, yeah.
So that scene Okami was just in there, right? Being captured and all of that. That
Basic. Did Okami not save after the fortune teller? Oh, that's bad.
Ooh. It sounded like Les Mis music for a second there. Okay. I mean, this tree is really bopping. Look at that harp.
But that scene that Okami was in, being locked up, right? You need the mouse, and you get the mouse by saving the cat.
Yeah, I do think that Okami didn't realize that the cutscene that he sat through gave progression, which, by the way, that's something that is kind of common. It's not very obvious when you're playing a game when you have made progression, unless you check the score. And the score is currently up there in Okami's screen. Yeah, 43.
So, giving the coin to the fortune teller, right? Is worth 3 points.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Since a lot of things give 1 point.
It's not necessarily going and doing the you don't have to see the cutscene, but you need to give the coin to the fortune teller.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, to beat these games, you didn't always have to get the top score, which is 240 out of 240. A lot of the times you could beat or 260, I guess, for this one. You didn't always have to get the top score, but that was kind of one of the incentives to go back and replay the game so that you could go and find some of the things that you had missed or figure out, like, why am I losing score in this specific situation? Why did I get, I actually, as much as, like, the deaths and softlocks kind of make you angry, at the same time, I think that because of how short the game is, it's a little bit more tolerable and probably, like, would be a little bit more acceptable today than, like, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's bad game design. I feel like you could make it work.
I feel like maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I feel like Sierra style SCI AGI games, right? As interesting as they are sometimes, I think it's being purposefully obtuse with deaths and all of that, right? To make a game last longer and to feel harder than what it is. Right. I tend to enjoy the LucasArts games better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okami became a frog. It was very important.
No, I agree, because I played through the Manhunter New York and the Manhunter San Francisco games, and there is nothing but death in those games.
Yeah. I'd say that, like, if the game at least warms you up at the beginning and lets you know that it's going to be BS, it's a little bit more, it's going to be BS, it's a little more acceptable. But I'm not sure Sierra always did that. Like, I'm thinking Corndan, Police Quest.
It was just kind of so Police Quest basically tells you. I mean, it
gives you a 300-page manual.
Oh my gosh, is it actually 300 pages?
It's a lot.
I
don't know if it's
I don't
actually
remember the amount, but it's a lot. Is it? If it's actually out there, I will.
Right, like, I think LucasArts, right, made a point that when they put out Monkey Island, right, Monkey Island has only one death.
Yeah.
That would actually destroy the game, right? And you have to make a monstrous attempt to make that happen.
Yeah. You have
like,
to
literally,
go
you
out
have to
of
sit
your
underwater
way.
for 10 minutes. For actual 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I do like that. I think that, like, for a bigger audience, for mainstream audiences, that approach is much better when it comes to an adventure game. But can you imagine Bennett Foddy making an adventure game? It would have so much BS.
I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. But again, like, I don't think I think Sierra didn't quite walk the line right when it came to having some of the BS that's in these different games. And the fact that you can be soft locked and have no idea that an event later on is going to, like, break your game. Yeah, that can be an issue. I still find that these games have quite a bit of charm, though.
I mean, it has charm, but then again, it's just a pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you go back and you're like, I enjoyed this kind of type of game.
Okay.
And it's, no, I like not dying so much. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, I think it's more like, as an adult, like, I really enjoyed Choose Your Own Adventure books when I was young. Was something that I really enjoyed, and there were so many just stupid deaths in those, but I would also, like, keep track of where I was, having my fingers inserted into the different, like, locations of the last place that I was, so that I could just go back and really quickly and resume where I left off by making the other choice. It's not cheating, chat. It's practical. And so I would say that, like, if you had an adventure game that had BS, but also had, like, a chapter/state select so that you could go back to areas. I think that would probably be the best way to address it. No, Graham!
Got me. Yeah, the game's not gonna just automatically put a thing there to let you just, walk around or, stop you from walking off to the edge.
Yeah. I mean, King's Quest 1, guess what? If you push down, you start walking, and you do not stop walking until you push down again. So if you push down at the very beginning of King's Quest 1, within about 1 second, you die.
Yeah,
it's
like,
so good.
Yeah, it's like trying to find the amount of pages just because it is a thick monster. Oh, wait a sec, hold on. I'm going to send you a link to something just so you can see what I mean. Where are you? So I'm sending you a link to something, and it is just the official book of Police Quest.
Is this the manual from Police Quest 1?
Yes.
Okay, let me go ahead and take a look.
There was a lot of protocol you needed to follow through, and so they gave you a book so that you can, yes.
Okay, the official book. Okay.
Oh, it's actually a tip guide, which there's like 200 pages. Okay, I'm just talking out of my rump right now.
I mean, that's still pretty. It's the official book of Police Quest. A lot of places would have official, quote-unquote, official guides to get through, and they were just, like, incredibly inflated, blah, blah, blah stuff. Or, some of it was really important, though.
I like how in Space Quest 4, you basically go forward in time to get a hint guide page to tell you how to progress in Space Quest 4.
Oh my gosh, That's so funny.
It's legitimately clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's meta. We're getting. Then again, LucasArts games had a lot of meta commentary about their games.
That was Sierra.
I'm really happy that Sierra had that too. Yeah, Zach McCracken, for example, I believe there are items that specifically would have helped you in certain situations for other games, and then other games have like a fire extinguisher that would have been helpful in Zach McCracken. And it's like, if you've played all of the games, you can be like, oh my gosh, here's the item, but it's completely in the wrong game. Dang it. Yeah, but you had to have played, like, all of the games in order to know that. It's beautiful. Oh, no! Okami! Okami got put in the bottle. Shouldn't keep things bottled up inside, Graham. Oh, yeah, Codeman's like, there was the whole store full of items that were only useful in other games. Yeah, there was that. The chain. Oh, Dave the Tentacle had the gasoline for the chainsaw. I think it was Zach McCracken that also had gasoline that would be used for the chainsaw in Maniac Mansion. Yeah, anyways, they're all worth playing. People don't like Zach McCracken as much, but that one you can actually have people die and keep playing the game, and it's really kind of bizarre. One of the weirder LucasArts adventure games. I like it, but I understand why people might not like it as much. With that said, both of the players have been making quite a bit of progress figuring out where to go, but I feel like Okami has the best grasp of this game so far. Okami might actually eke out a victory and win back a little bit of those bragging rights,
It's just pride at this point in time.
Yeah. Captain Drake is like, am I able to get 3 out of 3 at the end, and it might just end up being 2 out of 3. Which honestly, I kind of dig. Okami has been put a lot
There's
of
a Meatloaf
work
song
into
about
this.
that.
Yeah. A Meatloaf song?
Yeah. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, yeah, because 2
Yeah.
out of 3 ain't bad. I want you. I need you. But there's no way I'm ever gonna love you. Yeah, it's a good one.
I was secretly hoping Okami would just walk off the edge by accident.
Yeah, me too. That's a death too.
Yeah.
Well, he did it. He did it already. But I was hoping he would do it again.
This game is full of death, sorrow, misery, all the good stuff.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Chad asked, doesn't that have ways to get you soft locked as well? The hardest part in that game for me was fighting the Nazis, like fist fighting. But I didn't really understand what a D-pad was, and so I was trying to use the numbers at the top of the keyboard. I was like, the fighting controls make no sense. But then as soon as you look at the D-pad, it's like, oh, they make sense.
It's one of the Indiana Jones games where you can either be stealthy or you can be fighting, and I can't remember which is which.
Isn't that Fate of Atlantis?
Fate of Atlantis,
so.
yes. But the part with the Nazis in the hallway, you can manage to sneak around quite a few of them. It's a little bit difficult, but yeah, if you don't sneak past them, you do have to fight them. So if you get good at the fighting controls, great. And if you don't get good, then get good at being sneaky. Yep. Something I want to go back and play that game. Like I think that is the funnier of the Indiana Jones adventure games. I prefer Last Crusade to Fate of Atlantis, personally.
Well, that's because you're wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember how to beat Fate of Atlantis, so I don't need to play that again.
I mean, I played through it fairly recently, and I just didn't laugh as much. I don't know. I'd say that maybe... There goes Okami. Maybe for the sake of, like... the story is more original. Simply put, it's not based off of a movie, but the humor in the Last Crusade adventure game, some of it is just so good.
Look, let's be honest. What Lucasfilm should have done instead of Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull was they should have made a movie version of Fate of Atlantis.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty good. Yeah.
It would have been awesome.
There is a... Did the new Indiana Jones movie already come out, or is it coming out?
Yes.
Yeah, it's already come out.
Was it good?
I don't know.
I've heard, like, nobody talk about it.
Mixed. I've heard mixed. It's like, it's either okay or it was meh.
Well, let's find out.
I haven't seen Crystal Skull either, so yeah, I'm
Crystal
gonna go.
Skull was not very good.
That's what I heard. And Chad is kind of right. If they made Fate of Atlantis in the mid-2000s, there's a chance it would have been bad. But maybe they actually cared about Indiana Jones back then.
Apparently, it's all right to pretty okay, right? The new Indiana Jones.
Okay. If there's a little bit of redemption after Crystal Skull, then that can at least make me happy. End it on an okay note. Sure.
I mean, but apparently it doesn't hold a candle to Barbie.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Barbie, but people say Barbie's good somehow.
I have talked to some people who've seen Barbie, and they said it is actually amazing.
Oh
Yes.
no!
It has Jangle Storm's approval.
Okami just kidnapped an elf.
It's a gnome.
Wait,
What?
and then Okami
What'd
loaded?
you do?
Okami, the Noma's gonna let you through. My gosh. I don't know. Maybe Okami was worried about using too many of the honey drips.
No, you're supposed to do exactly what he just did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to use all 3 emeralds anyway. There's no real way to. You gotta entice them, and then they get stuck.
I think it's kind of understandable that Okami might think that he may have wasted an item. I understand not wanting to rush and thinking let's go ahead and reload and see if there's any way that I can conserve.
The right...
Aha! Stuck in the honey. Take that, nerd. It might have also been an accidental reload. With that said, we have less than 10 minutes left. We are almost through the final game of the Kusog7 bracket, after which we will be moving on to the GM bracket, possibly later next weekend. We'll see. It's coming soon. This part is scary. Look at the bones. Things died. Oh, now it's farting at me. My gosh. I don't like the elf music. You know what? I never take anything without giving something back. Honestly, giving the way out, the way past the rock was probably enough of a gift for most people, but I'm glad the elf is extra kind to be like, here are more items. I wouldn't expect a character to be that nice in an adventure game, especially a Sierra adventure game. What the crap? Oh, Chad is saying that jam, that music specifically, was from Quest for Glory. I didn't know that. Again, another series that I need to play through sometime. There are just so many old school adventure games that I, because we mostly focused on LucasArts adventure games when I was a kid, that I just haven't had the chance to go through. And then there's the weird Mormon adventure game that I played a little bit on stream once because somebody made me. And most of it was just searching for one specific building I need to go into. And so I didn't get to play a whole bunch of that. I need to... Maybe one day I'll play more of that because it was kind of funny. Look at this guy just hammering a piece of leather. Oh,
isn't that like the life? Just to be able to just hammer at pieces of leather.
You know what? I did a tiny bit of leatherworking when I was in Boy Scouts, and honestly, I feel like I would learn more on YouTube in 5 minutes. Don't do the Boy Scout method. We sucked. Yeah. Use YouTube. It's not even a joke, though. I did staffing for Boy Scout camps, and I actually taught stuff. I did the nature merit badges because I was a big nerd. I'd sit in the nature teepee and teach about rocks and plants, and it was a lot of fun. And I had a professor from a university be like, "What you're teaching is actually correct." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm following what's in the freaking book. Hello? It's not that hard. My book says it's this." Yeah.
One of my coworkers is an assistant scoutmaster, right? You know, for the troop his boys are in. And he teaches cold weather stuff.
Ooh.
Which is kind of cool because he went up to Minnesota, right, and stayed outside in minus 30-degree Fahrenheit weather, right, to get the certification to do it.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
which is pretty cool, yeah.
We'd go and do cloud identification, and up at the camp that we actually had, usually once or twice a week, there were some really big storms that came through. Tons of rain and some clouds that actually looked like they could turn into tornadoes just because of the way that they They were forming and shaping, but up in the mountains, they're not going to turn into tornadoes. You're usually going to be fine. And that was really cool to be able to teach, like, weather merit badges and actually have observable phenomenon. And then there was a weather station right near the camp as well that all of the kids, they're so dumb. I mean, come on, they're teenagers. Of course they're dumb. You know, they're like, oh, weather station, let's go see the weatherman and stuff. And then we get there and they're like, what the crap is this? And it's like a pole with some spinning things on it. And it's like, this is what this spinning thing does. And they're like, where's the cameras? Silly kids. Silly kids. Wait. So, did Okami steal the harp from the tree? Well, that's not very nice. The coolest thing about the weather station, though, was the way that they measured snow density. Specifically, they had just looking at it, it looked like ground. But if you kind of crossed their fence, which you're not supposed to do, and stepped on it, you could see the gravel ground ripple because they'd had a sheet of metal on top of a liquid, and they would use that to measure the pressure of the snow on top of that. And then, you know, being able to look at the snow depth combined with how much pressure was on the liquid, measure the density of the snow that had fallen. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it looked really cool. And like the person who would take us to the weather station was always like, you know, the people who are monitoring the weather, they probably just thought a deer stepped on this or something. And it's like, yeah, that's understandable. So it was a nice little demonstration that really didn't cause any problems for anybody. But again, don't go mess with weather equipment. Just FYI, don't do that. Well, we are in the final minute. We are close to the end here. And I would say that score-wise, we probably have a very clear winner. Like, Captain Drake has been struggling, but I feel like Okami is going to still have the high score here.
Yeah, Okami, last I checked, was
by a long
71. Yeah. Captain Drake's at 33 right now. And got hit by a scorpion. Oh, Okami's at 73. So yeah, 73 versus 33. Very much ahead.
That's a little bit of a lead. Yeah. And that's fine. Because I'm actually, I feel like if I were going into a match like this, I'd be like, I want to win just so that I can say, hey, I did my best and I actually got one win against the grand champion. And because of that, I can go home happy. Of course, Okami's already home. That's how the tournament works. Nobody has to go anywhere to play. But that is time. That is King's Quest. We've got 73 versus 33, which is a very, very clear oh my gosh.
Victory.
Victory! 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 Okami, you victory!
Hi.
Hey! So you got a score of 73. Captain Drake has a score of 33, which makes you a very clear victor in the final match for the grand finale. The grand finals. Yeah! King's Quest 5. What an amazing game. Have you played any or very many adventure games before, Okami?
Some here and there, but I know about some of the isoturn logic that they sometimes ask for. I mentioned in the match while we were setting up that I played through Shadowgate before on NES, which also has some questionable logic at times.
Oh yeah, for sure. With that said, I think that, like, you were able to get the grasp of it. I personally am a big fan of adventure games, and I feel like this NES version does have some problems, but Chad also mentioned, especially Cadus, because Cadus has played a lot of this, and I believe is the original reason why we gave the game out. It's just, this game has a lot of moon logic and a lot of soft locks, and actually, whether you know it or not, we think that you're soft locked at least one way, if not multiple ways at this point. You cannot beat the game.
Oh, I don't doubt it. That's also why I went, like, when I went into the desert, that was the point where I'm like, can I make multiple saves? Because I probably am going to want to save at least a few times while in the desert itself, but I don't want to put myself in a soft lock position. I want to have a safety save ready.
Yeah, I think that was a worthwhile question to ask, and yeah, honestly, use the tools that are at your disposal. With that said, comparing this to other adventure games that you have played, where do you kind of put this game? And we're talking specifically about this version, not an imaginary other version, this version of the...
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that it was designed with a mouse in mind. It felt like sometimes it was hard to get inputs to read, because sometimes I try to close the menu and I have to hit the button multiple times to close the window. So that was not great. But, you know, that's just menuing problems. That much I can deal with. It's not gonna, like, oftentimes it's not gonna cost me a run or anything like that.
Yeah. I think that any game that sort of was designed with mouse controls and then moved to a console, you really should control differently. Like, I understand that they were trying to get the same feeling that came across with a lot of adventure games, but it just doesn't work. With the amount of adventure games I've seen on NES, it does make me wish that the NES had some sort of, like, mouse peripheral, and I don't think it does have anything like that, at least not over here in the States, probably in Japan on the Famicom. It's possible in Japan. Like, simply put, there were other computer systems that did have it. I don't know about video game consoles having them, though.
Super Nintendo definitely had a mouse, so
yes.
if this game is ported on SNES, then it probably would have been pretty good there, having mouse controls to just do everything like that.
Yeah, from what I can see, yeah, Super Nintendo mouse. There might have been, I see Model O Famicom Edition mouse. Huh.
Yeah, because I remember there being some sort of, like, peripheral for the Famicom to basically turn your Famicom into like a home computer.
Yeah.
But I don't know that was including mouse or if it was basically just a keyboard.
What I'm seeing here, though, is that this was probably just a fan mouse that was made and not an actual mouse. So
probably. I know.
Yeah.
I've seen a 8BitDo mouse before that's basically just like a standard mouse, except it's designed to look like an NES controller.
Yeah, I do have to ask Okami, because we talked a lot about, like, the design of Sierra versus LucasArts when it comes to adventure games, and that Sierra is brutal. You will die many, many times in Sierra games. You will get soft-locked and not find out until towards the end of the game, especially in King's Quest V. But I was thinking that there were some modern video game developers who, if they had made an adventure game, I'd expect them to do the same. Bennett Foddy, for example. If Bennett Foddy made an adventure game, I would expect all of the BS and that to be an integral part. What do you think about that? Like, is that acceptable, or is it like something that's overly frustrating and is bad game design? What do you think?
Sorry, what was the question? I was looking to see if King's Knight was on Steam.
The question mostly soft locks and deaths and ways that you can essentially just make it so that the game is unbeatable. Is there any situation where that might be acceptable, or is that just like throw it out the window, never do that?
Probably if there's like warning signs of like, this is a bad idea, you probably shouldn't do this. Like, say you have an item and you're going to discard it, and You discard it, or you try to discard it, and the game pops up a text box saying, this item looks like it might be useful. Are you sure you want to discard it? Because at that point, if you discard it, the game warned you already, it's entirely on you as the player.
You know, yeah, I know that somebody brought up one of the Elder Scroll games that, like, if you go and try to kill one of the NPCs that's, you know, required to beat the game, it'll give you the warning. Or if you kill them, it'll give the warning and say, your world is now doomed. Are you sure you want to keep playing?
Yeah.
Otherwise, load. I do think that warning system is probably the way to go if you want to design something like that. Yeah.
Because sometimes you may not want to get kicked out of the game right away. You might want to explore a little bit more before leaving the game.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that would be acceptable. And I would be tempted because I kind of like BS in certain situations. I don't think that, like, playing as a kid I would be as interested, but as an adult, I kind of like the idea of, like, a doomed save or a doomed world where you can't actually make any progress. It's interesting to me.
If you want a doomed world, play like any RPG. That's usually the plot of an RPG, is the world is doomed.
I've played a few of those. Well, cool. Okami, I will say congrats on managing to take one victory in the grand final. Obviously, you took second place. You got $250 as well. You already got the Steam game, so, you know, hit me up when you want with your PayPal address. And Captain Drake, you are crowned the victor of Kusog7ande 7. Hit me up as well for your prizes because I would love to get those to you. Other than that, Okami, we always give people the honor of when they're eliminated, quote-unquote eliminated in this case, to have final words for their tombstone. So do you have any last words?
Well, in the tradition of how my last words have gone before, you'll have to find out my last words in Kuso 8.
Oh my gosh, you're a nerd. You know that?
It would have been funny if I was able to win the tournament this time, because it's like, oh, well, saying you're going to have to find out my last words in Kuso 7 aged poorly.
Yeah.
Because I think those were my last words in Kuso 6 as well.
I love it.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know, everybody who's watching, if you've enjoyed Kusog7ande this year, feel free to sign up, ! Signups in Twitch chat or over on Discord. They are open at least until the end of August, okay? Also, we will be starting the GM bracket very soon. We'll let people know on both Twitter and Discord when that's happening. Expect probably more chaos and weird games, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna have some interesting stuff because no prizes are on the line, only honor. And simply put, sometimes I'll give a stupid game because who cares about honor, right? Other than that, Big Bad Gameathon submissions are also open until the end of the month. That's about an extra week that you all have to work on something. I am not going to stream after this, but I'll probably do a little bit of work to look into what I could put together. I got one game submitted, and I'll be submitting more. And then, did I have anything else? I don't know. I don't think so. Big Bad Gameathon, Kuso bracket, sign up for Kuso 8. Those are the three things. Yeah. I suppose other than that, thank you to everybody who has volunteered and everybody who has played this year. You all are the ones who make this possible, and thank you to those who have donated and who have subscribed to help cover some of the costs. It makes a huge difference to me to be able to pay bills and also to be able to give out prizes, and I want to keep making prizes bigger in future tournaments. So hopefully Kuso 8 we can have the biggest prize pool of them all. Other than that, I think let's go and raid somebody, and I am gonna get ready to do some work tonight, get some stuff in the background finished, and probably get some videos on YouTube. Yeah, do we have a good group to raid? RPG Limit Break is over, so we don't have to raid over there.
I'm sure one of the death screens that one of us got's probably going to make a good raid message.
I think
for a lot of good. death screens.
I think so. Let's see. Does anybody have any memories? Will I be killing any puppies at BBG this year? I did that last year. Probably not. Sorry, puppies get to live.
Well, unless you find another game to kill puppies.
Honestly, that's probably very doable.
There was a dog I could play fetch with in this game.
Oh yeah! I saw you throw the stick. You know what? Games Done Quick, they've been having a Yakuza marathon and doing some Yakuza speedruns. Let's go raid over there. I think that would be fun. And, you know, considering that I have been helping out with some of the hotfix shows and I will be doing work for them later, it seems only fair. Let's go and raid there. And then Victory. Let's go ahead and raid with that. That's a good raid message. I really messed up the word victory, Okami. Like, I slaughtered it.
It was real bad.
I heard it when I popped into the call.
Shut up. Victory! Yeah. Everybody needs to mess up lines sometimes. Or all the time. That's fine as well. Everybody probably be back. We'll see about tomorrow, but for sure, as long as everything is open and we have everything put together, don't make us bored, probably on Tuesday. I will be traveling at the beginning of August, so things will be a little bit spotty here and there, but, you know, we'll go ahead and make sure you get your fill of bad video games. All right. Author Blues Thursday. Kuso Group, that's right. That's the other thing. Thursday, Kusog7ande is going to be on Author Blues' channel, giving him some crap. So make sure y'all show up. All right, everybody, take care. Victory! Victory, Cordan!
Victory!
NPCs, take care!
Victory!
Okami, take care!
Victory.
My gosh.